You know, there's method acting, and then there's forgetting who you are entirely and becoming the character. On October 29th, 2008, Oscar-nominated actor Joaquin Phoenix took method acting to a whole new level when he announced his retirement from acting at only 34 years old, saying that he wanted to be a hip-hop performer and rapper instead. And he was dead serious about it. Phoenix even appeared on Late Night with David Letterman on February 11th, 2009, in basically what has gone down in history as one of the most bizarre interviews of all time. Sporting a beard and dark sunglasses, he chewed gum and gave brief monotone answers, with Letterman unaware of what was going on. Later on, Phoenix eventually apologized to the talk show host, as all of this turned out to just be an act for Casey Affleck's new mockumentary I'm Still Here, in which he played an over-the-top version of himself. He was reportedly so convincing, he had close friends and relatives seriously concerned for his mental health. You know what? I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take some time off YouTube and start a rap career. My rap name's gonna be Young Baldo. Mixtape coming soon. Actors often have to change how they look to suit a role. You know, cutting their hair, wearing contacts, etc. But when you're Adrien Brody, those things just aren't enough. No, this guy's gotta make all those other actors look like sissies by quite literally risking his life for his art. When he took on Roman Polanski's 2002 drama The Pianist, the then 29-year-old actor transformed his whole body. Brody lost a whopping 29 pounds in order to play the Jewish musician and practice the pieces he played during the film for 4 hours every day. However, that still didn't seem to be enough. Realizing the only way for him to effectively understand what his character had lost, Brody really broke up with his then girlfriend, really gave up most of his belongings and his apartment in New York City, and really gave away his phone, his car, and really moved to Europe. But it was worth it because he won an Oscar that year for his trouble, becoming the first leading actor under 30 to take the prize. Whew, okay, well, if I ever get a role for Mr. Clean, I'm gonna have to shade his beard. Y'all gonna have to deal with it. I'm just saying. It's method acting. Many people don't know that Cage actually developed his own brand of new style of acting called Nouveau Shamanic, and claims he's bored with traditional methods, and boy is it something. For Face Off, in which he plays John Travolta's character when the two switch faces, Cage studied Travolta both through his work and in person. He was caught many times staring at his co-star and mimicking his movements even when they weren't on set. Then, for 2007's Ghost Rider, Cage tried to connect himself to the spirit world through voodoo magic, even painting his face with black and white makeup and sewing ancient relics into his costume. But by far the worst, while filming the 1984 war drama BRODY, Cage had 2 teeth removed just before shooting commenced. Though they were taken out by professional dentists, thank God not himself, the actor refused anesthetic as he wanted to feel what his character would have felt in losing them, using it to further his performance. Nope, I don't care how much pain is art, Matty likes his teethies. Matty gon' keep his teethies. That's gross. Now for a man who's been synonymous with method acting for pretty much his entire career, Dustin Hoffman has always taken on his roles with devotion and intensity, which actually wound up creating a feud between him and Meryl Streep after he got her what he thought to be fired up on the set of 1979's Kramer vs. Kramer. He did this by insulting her repeatedly and slapped her in the face before every take. Then, devoted to playing his part perfectly in the 1976 thriller Marathon Man, Hoffman prepared for a scene in which his character Babe had been awake for 3 days by literally staying awake for 3 days. To be sure that he'd look truly exhausted, the actor decided to add in a 4-mile run before arriving to set. When co-star and screen legend Sir Lawrence Oliver realized what Hoffman had done, he plainly asked the man why he didn't just try acting, claiming that it's much easier and, safer? Not a chance. I don't care how cool the role is, Matty needs to sleep. 8 hours every night, minimum, and coffee. Before lung cancer caused his untimely passing on May 16, 1984, Hoffman, at 35 years old, had already made a name for himself not only as a regular on the sitcom Taxi, but also as an artist who used his real life as his canvas. Teaming up with professional wrestler Jerry the King Lawler, Hoffman convinced millions that the pair were in a feud, even coming to blows on David Letterman's talk show. But where Andy really took it too far is when he became Tony Clifton, a horribly offensive comic and lounge singer who would often perform as Hoffman's opening act. Hoffman was so fantastically convincing at his craft that people to this day even believe that he faked his own death, with many of them certain that he's posing as another celebrity. Some people even claim he could be trying his hand in politics and is higher up in the American government than you might expect. These people also believe that Tupac and Biggie are still alive, and as much as I would like that, it's just conspiracy stuff. Yeah, a little crazy. Before he was challenged to a cosmic dance-off with Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, 38-year-old Lee Pace played an injured stuntman devoted to ending his life in the 2006 adventure comedy The Fall. Pace's character, Roy Walker, is paralyzed, and to really drive home the performances of everyone involved, Pace, along with the film's director Tarseem Singh, hatched a scheme in which nearly all of the cast and crew actually believed that the lead actor was paralyzed in real life. Pace spent over 2 months pretending to be Roy, a man who was in a motorcycle accident and happened to have the same name as the main protagonist. But on the last day of filming the scenes in the hospital, Pace stood up to the shock of the cast and crew and walked. Though many of the crew members were understandably angry over the ruse, Pace claimed he wouldn't change anything about what they did, as it made the film much more authentic. Art is obviously subjective and can be different or even weird to each person watching. But if you think Shia wearing a bag over his head and watching all of his movies back to back is strange, try acting alongside him. The 30-year-old actor went without showering for 4 weeks on the set of the 2014 war drama Fury, much to the dismay of his fellow actors. He even went so far as to drop LSD while filming 2013's Charlie Countryman, shortly before choking his director, Frederick Bond, and needing his trainer to restrain him until he calmed down. What'd you say about my mama? But where the actor may have really gone too far was when, before shooting a scene for Fury, LaBeouf decided the work his makeup artist was doing to make his face look wounded wasn't enough. Yeah, you know where this is going. The actor reportedly had a tooth removed and cut gashes in his own face to make the wounds look realistic. Okay, there's dedication, and then there's just crazy devotion. For pretty much every performance that the actor has ever given, he's done everything that he can to become as close to the character as possible. While filming My Left Foot in the late 80s, Lewis insisted that he be treated as if he were a spastic quadriplegic, even having food spoon-fed to him while he was in a wheelchair. Then, he only ate what he tracked, killed, and skinned with his own hands while filming Last of the Mohicans. And then there was the time that he moved out of his house, living separately from his wife so that he could understand isolation from loved ones for the 2005 drama The Ballad of Jack and Rose. He even spent a number of nights in true isolation, locked up in solitary confinement in an abandoned prison to understand the hardships his character endured in the 1993 biodrama In the Name of the Father. The character's Day-Lewis becomes leaves him needing long periods between films, which is why he only makes one every 2 to 5 years. Now you know. Many actors have stepped into the shoes of the madman character the Joker, but few have taken their antics to the levels of the Academy Award-winning actor Jared Leto, which he did for 2016's Suicide Squad. The 45-year-old performer did his best to modernize the look and personality of the character, going as far as spending time in a real asylum while talking to residents there, spending a few nights in a real prison cell, and maintaining his psychotic clown persona all day. The actor would even walk around the streets of Toronto hiding in crowds while he practiced the chilling laugh of the Joker to see how much it freaked out the people around him. he did. He really did. But what crossed the line for many of his co-stars were the gifts Leto would send them, carried to their trailers and homes by real-life henchmen Leto hired to carry out his tasks for him. The presents would always be gross or inappropriate, such as a dead pig or even a used condom. Yep. For Christopher Nolan's 2008 superhero masterpiece, The Dark Knight, the director tapped 27-year-old Heath Ledger to play the iconic Batman villain. This only to be met with severe backlash by internet comments and postings as to just how terrible the actor would be in the role. But of course, as many of us now know, Ledger was outstanding as the clown prince of crime, preparing for the performance by literally going into isolation in a London hotel room for an entire month, where he wrote a diary and kept speaking to nobody in the voice that he'd settled on. In other words, he truly became the Joker. Many people believe that his turn playing the psychotic clown was what directly led to his tragic and untimely demise via an overdose with prescription painkillers, which was compounded by an earlier role as an addict in the movie Candy. Either way, method acting may have brought about the loss of a truly amazing talent. Thanks a lot to you guys for watching this. If you enjoyed it, as always, drop a like on it and subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm gonna have a brand new video for you tomorrow at 12 West Coast time, 3 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you come back to my channel then. Have a great day. I'll see you then.